Hey there, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Oh, it's great to be back.
Today we're going deep into the life of Ambessa Medarda,
Okay.
a woman who embodies ambition, power, and a fascinating blend of ruthlessness and love.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about a warrior matriarch
Okay.
who clawed her way to the top,
Right.
leading her people while fiercely protecting her family.
Okay, interesting.
You've given us bits and pieces, historical records,
Yep.
character bios,
Okay.
even whispers of ancient codes.
Wow.
So, let's put this puzzle together.
I'm excited.
Expert speaker.
Yeah.
What jumps out at you from this initial look?
What's immediately captivating is that Ambessa's story
Yeah.
isn't your typical tale of inherited nobility.
Right.
Her family's power in Noxus wasn't simply passed down through generations. They earned it,
Okay.
carved it out through sheer grit and determination.
It's almost like their rise perfectly mirrors the core of Noxian society itself.
Okay.
Strength and an unwavering will to fight for what you believe in.
Definitely. That's...
And speaking of fighting, one source mentions Ambessa being exposed to violence from a very young age.
Oh, okay.
Think gladiatorial combat. Watching Zuktovici battling it out in arenas.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's got to shape a person's worldview, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Imagine witnessing such brutality as a child.
Yeah.
It's not just about becoming desensitized to violence.
Right.
It's about internalizing it as a fundamental part of life.
Right.
Even a spectacle.
Okay, I see.
This ties directly into the Medarda clan's values, passed down through generations. Their code, this blend of a desert fox's cunning and the ferocity of a legendary wolf, speaks volumes about their approach to power.
So it's not just about brute force.
Right.
But also about outsmarting your opponents.
Precisely. It's this duality that makes Ambessa so intriguing.
Yeah.
She rose through the ranks to become a general, leading war bands into battle.
Right.
With this almost primal warrior spirit.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, she experienced the profound love of a mother.
Okay.
The source mentions her deep affection for her son, Kino.
Okay.
And how holding him for the first time completely shifted her understanding of love.
That's a fascinating contrast.
Yeah.
The hardened general and the devoted mother.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how those two sides played out in her leadership and decision-making.
That's a good point.
Did she rule with an iron fist?
Right.
But have a soft spot for her family?
That's a question worth exploring.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always easy for her.
Right.
We know Kino, despite Ambessa's love, didn't inherit that warrior spirit.
Oh, so that must have created a conflict for her.
Right.
A clash between her expectations for her son and his true nature.
It's a powerful reminder that even the strongest leaders grapple with personal complexities.
Yeah, and then there's this near-death experience, a turning point in her life.
Oh, okay.
While defending Rotrund, she was gravely wounded
Oh, wow.
and experienced these cryptic visions.
Okay.
It's never fully explained what she saw,
Right.
but it seems to have fueled her ambition even further.
Okay.
It's like that brush with death
Yeah.
unlocked something within her.
Yeah, kind of.
The source mentions she rarely spoke of it, which only adds to the mystery.
Yeah.
Did she glimpse the fragility of life? Or perhaps a vision of her own legacy? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
It seems to have ignited a burning desire
Right.
to shape the world according to her will,
Oh, interesting.
to safeguard her children
Yeah.
from any perceived weakness.
Okay.
It's almost as if this event pushed her from seasoned warrior to something more.
Like, what do you mean?
Her rise after that was incredible, leading from the front lines with this unwavering courage.
Wow.
But with each victory, she also became more cunning, more daring, maybe even more ruthless.
Okay.
Is that what you're seeing too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her leadership constantly evolved.
Okay.
She understood that power is dynamic. It requires adaptation.
Okay.
Ambessa wasn't content with simply holding on to power.
Right.
She wanted to actively mold the world around her,
Yes.
to bend it to her will.
To bend it to her will.
When her grandfather,
Right.
Menelik Medarda,
Yeah.
the clan's patriarch, passed away without naming an heir,
Yeah.
she didn't see it as a crisis,
Okay.
but as her destiny.
Oh, and from what we've gathered, she saw the other family branches scrambling for power as a pointless struggle.
Oh, interesting.
She knew it was her time,
Right.
her birthright. She crushed her rivals
Wow.
and vowed to build a legacy
Okay.
worthy the Medarda name,
Right.
a legacy for her children. She fully embraced that wolfish side of the family code, didn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She began emphasizing a particular mantra. Always be the wolf.
Always be the wolf.
This wasn't just a saying.
Okay.
It was her governing philosophy.
Wow.
She refused to tolerate weakness,
Yeah.
pushing herself and everyone around her to embody strength and resolve.
And this leads us to Piltover,
Okay.
a technologically advanced city-state
Uh-huh.
with ideals that clash with Noxus's emphasis on military might.
Yeah.
We know she sent her daughter Mel there,
Mm-hmm.
maybe to shield her from potential vulnerabilities or maybe to forge her own path.
Okay.
What do you make of that decision?
Sending Mel to Piltover is fascinating because it highlights
Okay.
the complexities of Ambessa's character. On one hand, she embodies these traditional Noxian values
Right.
and seeks to instill them in her children.
Good.
On the other, she recognizes the power of Piltover's technology,
Right.
this almost magical innovation
Okay.
they call Magitech,
Magitech.
which could disrupt traditional warfare.
Okay, so Magitech. It sounds like more than just fancy gadgets.
Right.
What exactly are we talking about here?
So imagine harnessing magic to power weaponry,
Okay.
to create defenses unlike anything the world has ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Magitech has the potential to completely change the rules of engagement.
Right.
It's revolutionary
Yeah.
and potentially very dangerous.
Okay.
Ambessa, with her strategic mind,
Yeah.
would have recognized both the threat and the opportunity this technology presented. Because like she's staring into the future of warfare. Yeah.
And deciding whether to embrace it or destroy it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's intriguing is that Ambessa's journey to Piltover
Right.
wasn't just about acquiring this new technology.
Yeah.
It was also about reconnecting with Mel,
Okay.
the daughter she'd sent away years ago.
Right.
It adds another layer to her motivations, wouldn't you say?
It definitely makes their reunion all the more interesting to imagine.
Yeah.
Here you have this powerful Noxian matriarch steeped in a culture of strength and military dominance,
Yeah.
coming face to face with her daughter who's been living in Piltover,
Right.
this hub of innovation. And let's face it, a bit more of a free-thinking society.
Are they? Yeah.
Talk about a potential culture clash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that clash likely fueled some internal conflict for Ambessa.
Right.
She embodies these traditional Noxian values, but she also sees the potential of Piltover's technology to advance her own ambitions.
It's like she's caught between upholding tradition and embracing progress.
So how do you think she viewed Piltover and its people?
Right.
One source mentions her seeing them as
Yeah.
spineless idealists.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't exactly sound like a compliment.
It speaks to a fundamental difference in ideologies.
Right.
Noxus, with its focus on strength and military, might probably sees Piltover's emphasis on diplomacy and innovation as, well, weakness.
Weakness, okay.
And Ambessa, with her warrior background
Yeah.
and adherence to the Medarda Code, might have viewed Piltover's more egalitarian society
Right.
as naive and unprepared for the harsh realities of the world.
But she also seems to recognize the power that Piltover's technology holds.
Right.
Especially this Magitech. It's almost like a classic case of
Yeah,
keep your friends close and your enemies closer,
I see what you mean.
wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ambessa was a pragmatist.
Right.
She might have held personal opinions about Piltover and its people,
Yeah.
but she understood that their advancements could benefit Noxus.
Okay.
It's possible she saw it as a chance to gain knowledge and resources
Right.
that could solidify her nation's position on the world stage.
But wouldn't that be met with resistance?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, introducing foreign technology,
Right.
especially something as potentially disruptive as Magitech, into a society as steeped in tradition as Noxus. It seems like that would ruffle some feathers.
You're right.
Yeah.
Integrating Piltover's technology into Noxian society would have been a huge challenge.
Okay.
Some would see it as a threat to their traditional way of life.
Right.
A dilution of Noxian values.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be fascinating to know how Ambessa navigated that resistance.
Right.
How she balanced her ambitions with the need to maintain stability within her own nation.
Okay.
Did she try to force it through?
Mm-hmm.
Or was she more subtle and strategic in her approach?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So we have this picture of Ambessa as a master strategist, a fierce warrior, a loving mother, and now a shrewd political operator.
Okay.
What was her ultimate goal,
do
you think?
I mean,
what was she trying to achieve with all this power and influence?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Was it just about securing the Medarda dynasty's grip on power?
Right.
Or did she have a grander vision for Noxus?
Okay.
Maybe even one that extended beyond her nation's borders.
Okay.
Did she see Magitech as a way to usher in a new era of Noxian dominance?
Right.
Or was she more interested in its potential to protect her people and secure her legacy?
It feels like she was constantly pushing boundaries.
Right.
Both personally and politically. She wasn't content with maintaining the status quo.
Yeah.
She wanted to shape the world around her.
Right.
Leave her mark on history. That's a level of ambition you don't see every day.
And that's exactly what makes her story so compelling.
Right.
She's a study in contrasts. A ruthless warrior who deeply cherished her family.
Right.
A traditionalist who was willing to embrace innovation.
Okay.
A leader driven by ambition.
Yeah.
But also by a deep love for her people.
Okay.
This duality is what makes her such a fascinating subject for this deep dive.
Her story also leaves us with so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, it does.
What exactly did she see during that near-death experience? How did her relationship with Kino, her son who wasn't a warrior, play out?
Right.
How did Mel navigate growing up in Piltover?
Right.
And most importantly,
Yeah.
what was the true extent of her ambitions?
These are all threads we could pull on, rabbit holes we could explore further.
Right.
But I think the most important takeaway from this deep dive is that Ambessa's story reminds us that power is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It can be used for good or for evil, to protect or to destroy. And ultimately, it's up to each individual, each leader, to decide how they wield it.
It really is like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility. Ambessa's story makes you think about the burdens of leadership.
Right.
The tough choices, and how those choices ripple out and affect so many others.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And her story also reminds us that there are always multiple sides to every story.
Yeah.
We've been looking at Ambessa through the lens of history.
Right.
Trying to piece together her motivations and goals.
Okay.
But imagine the stories her children could tell.
Right.
The complexities of their relationships with her.
Yeah.
How her decisions shaped their lives.
Yeah.
It really adds a whole new dimension, doesn't it?
It's like they say, history is written by the victors.
Right.
We often only get one side. And with Ambessa, it's a story that paints her as this formidable, almost terrifying figure.
Okay.
But there's always more to discover. Layers beneath the surface, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a deep dive like this so rewarding.
Right.
It's not about finding all the answers, but about asking the right questions.
Okay.
Challenging our assumptions and embracing those nuances that make history so fascinating.
Okay.
Ambessa Medarda doesn't fit neatly into the box of hero or villain.
Right.
And that's what makes her so captivating to explore.
What a life.
Yeah.
From childhood on the battlefield to leading a powerful dynasty, Ambessa Medarda's journey is one for the history books.
It really is.
That's for sure. And that encounter with Magitech you mentioned?
Yeah.
Expert speaker?
Yes.
It sounds like that could be a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It seems Ambessa's story, much like the ever-shifting sands of Shurima, is far from settled.
Okay.
It leaves us with the question.
Yeah.
How far will ambition drive a leader, even one who genuinely believes they're acting in the best interests of their people?
That's something for you to ponder, listener.
Right.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
See ya.